Yeah,
So I think we need to weigh in.
I believe the committee, to just answer that question, I believe the committee was sent on a task to get a ordinance drafted for you. This is the draft ordinance, and this is what our committee is recommending for the county commission to take to public hearing and go further with.
I have questions. You said 136 people are refusing to pay those fees. Do you know the reason?
No, and it's an approximate number. It's about it's an approximate number. It could give or take a few numbers, but it's around 150, and I couldn't tell you why they're. I haven't done surveys or went and knocked on their doors to ask them why.
Do you think should you?
No, I don't think it's. I'm a volunteer. I don't even go knock on people's doors to collect money for the county.
Who is the author of these revisions? Who made those revisions?
We gave the concept to your county attorney, and the county attorney, Dennis Wallen, made the revisions to the ordinance.
Mm-hmm. Did you receive any input from outside of your committee?
I don't believe I received any. Did you?
No, I did not.
As a committee, have you received any input from anybody?
No. Well, let me take that back. Art did send one email to me on it, and it was discussed in the solid waste meeting. But this, you gotta understand, this is not to do with the Solid Waste Authority. This is nothing to do with the solid waste at all. This ordinance is Torrance County. It has nothing to do with the Solid Waste Authority at all.
We did too. One other interjection is we did receive some figures from the Solid Waste Authority as far as how many dollars were attached to each of those.
Yes, and one of the things, to go back on it, this ordinance also allows, there's a lot of questions whether the county commission needs to go out for bid on this. And this allows them now to decide if they want to go out to bid. And one of my recommendations is if you would like to go out to bid, I would separate your bids down. Separate to the billing system, the solid waste billing system, the solid waste collection system, and the solid waste land tipping fees. Because one of the things that will never go away for the county is you will always have the tipping fees from the landfill, from the solid waste authority. If you want to contract with somebody else to do the collection stations and they have a better price, so be it. If you have somebody that's can do the billing cheaper, or if the county thinks they can do it in-house cheaper, so be it. But this opens all of this stuff up for that to happen. Without that happening, with the old ordinance in here, you're set on how your rates and how the solid waste is tied to the county. And what it really is the county is one entity that helped form the solid waste. And they have a voice on the solid waste board on how to run the landfill, and they have contracted with the Solid Waste Authority to run their collection stations. If you so choose as a commission to contract with somebody else because you get a better price, then that's fine. But it also sets it up here for that person, whoever that person is you contracted, is saying you give us a total of what you pay each year to do the services, and it's up to us to figure out how to pay for it. If it's out of general fund, if we set the rates to the customers, however you do it, it's up to you guys.
I believe this kind of decision was already made last year to go for RFP. Why it was not executed, still hasn't been executed.
Are you looking at me? Are you asking me that question?
I can't ask Mr. Saline. It is not his responsibility to go for RFP.
Okay.
Yes.
The county has not gone out to RFP because we did not have enough specific information as to what we were RFPing. We did not know if we were RFPing the billing service, the collections, the collection stations, whether we're transporting to another landfill. That discussion hasn't happened. We were not given enough clarification as to what we were putting out to RFP. I know that we had talked about hiring a consultant to help us develop an RFP, and we never even had enough details to give to him to be able to come in and help us. So we've kind of been at a standstill. I know I've asked the commission several times for some help and some clarification, and we've just never received it.
Do you know about other counties that went that route and had a RFP for their?
No, I have not found it. I know that there are several larger counties in the state who don't even provide solid waste facilities. But there's a lot of detail that needs to go into this that we've never received. And it's actually not my responsibility to write the RFP either, Madam Commissioner. It would be our purchasing director's, and she was never comfortable drafting it because she did not have enough detail.
So what is the solution of that? What about Lincoln County? They went for RFP and chose private contractor, private company.
Right, and I believe that private company now filed for bankruptcy, and it has not worked out well according to Lincoln County.
Where did you receive that information? How did you receive that information?
From the county manager, and I believe our county attorney has given me some of that information.
Okay, so you are saying right now the commission is at fault that we didn't go for RFP?
I don't know. I don't really believe we need to be putting fault on it. I think that developing a new ordinance that splits these different services up is going to give us some more leeway as to what we want to go out to RFP for. This will help define that.
Before, I heard that we needed the survey done by Gordon environmental company before we can go for RFP. And by the way, it was paid by the Estancia Valley Solid Waste Authority, and they don't have to do that either. But that was the excuse, and now I'm hearing, frankly, another excuse. Also, when you were writing those, making those revisions, were you making them as a representative of Torrance County or as a representative of Estancia Valley Solid Waste Authority?
I was making the revisions as a representative of Torrance County, not as a solid waste authority member. That had, like I said, this ordinance has nothing to do with the solid waste authority other than it tells them how to operate your system.
How these revisions can benefit the county and the county residents?
David, Mr. Chair, if you will give me just a little bit of leeway, I would like to explain how this came about. It's because for many, many years, the landfill funds and the collection station funds have all been mingled together. And as long as the landfill funds stayed in the black, then the county funds were just kind of let go, even though the authority was losing money on the county collection part of the operations. The municipalities finally got tired of that because the municipalities all pay into the solid waste fund. They pay through their hauling agreements, and they also subsidize. The mayors or the representatives for the municipalities on the board said that it's no longer acceptable. The landfill can no longer cover the deficit of the county, and that the county needed to come up with something. So it's really not the solid waste authority's responsibility to figure out how to pay what the operations of the collection system and the billing cost. It's up to the county. So we have to get some clarification as to what those specific costs are and get everything split out so that we can start paying our way. And we can do that in multiple ways, but it's not up to the solid waste authority to come up with that. It's up to the county commission because you're the governing body. So the landfill could have continued to carry us so the rates could have stayed steady and the county didn't pay anything, because we've never paid anything to the solid waste authority except for our environmental gross receipts